Aicha Bascaro. She will take us on her journey as she rose up the ladder in franchising to become a best-selling author and CEO of her own American Franchise Academy. Lots of valuable information on what it takes to be a franchisee. So let's get to it. You have done so much in your young life, best-selling author, Franchise Fix, really a power in the franchise industry when it comes to training, when it comes to educating franchisees. What got you here? Where did this start?
Funny that you asked that. Way back when I was very young, I got a college degree in merchandising and design, and I opened a little boutique, or actually acquired a ongoing business, thinking now I made it, I'm a business owner. And literally within a year, I failed miserably because going to college doesn't give you the knowledge that you need to run a business successfully. And so I failed, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to do to pay my bills literally the next month. And a pizza delivery driver drove right in front of me. And I thought, you know what? That must be a great job. You're driving around in your car. You're listening to music. Everybody's happy to see you. You know what? No stress. And I went and got a job at a Domino's pizza and started delivering pizzas. It was a temporary job in my mind while I figured out what I wanted to do with my life. And it became a love affair. I never left franchising, and that was the beginning of my journey in the franchise industry.
And you went from then on to running your own stores.
Yeah. So what happened was, franchising is an amazing world because they give you education. The franchisor gives you education to learn how to do, and run the business, especially when you were in a corporate store. So I was lucky enough that I was in a corporate store and they were giving me all of the training that I needed way back when. And so I went from being a pizza delivery driver to an assistant manager to a unit manager. I went from the lowest volume store in Dallas, Texas, where I started, to the highest volume store in Dallas, and eventually district manager. And then at that point, I decided to join international. Somebody said, "Hey, Aisha, you speak a second language. You have a passport. Domino's is growing in international. You should go out there and travel the world." And sure enough, I did that. And I joined the organization, the international division. And for the next 10 years, I lived in 14 countries. I helped open the first Domino's in Spain, the first Domino's in Dominican, the first one in Argentina. Eventually, I went back to the US, run company ops. I had over 60 restaurants in 3 states for a few years. And my last job I actually run is a distribution center. I don't know if you know this, but Domino's has their own distribution supply chain. And I was trained to run a distribution center that serviced over 250 units in the Southeast. And so I did that until I decided to leave the brand. Then I did 5 years with Popeyes, the Popeyes brand. Then I went to work with Olive Garden, Darden restaurants in Georgia and Alabama. And my last job in the corporate world was actually running a brand called Pretzel Maker. I did that for a little while, and then I left the corporate world. And that's where I ended up here at the Academy.
This led you to decide, okay, I'm going to educate future franchisees in what they need to do to be successful, basically.
Well, what happened was I decided to take a sabbatical because I have been in the corporate world at that point for over 25 years, and my kids were going into high school. So I am married, I have kids, and decided to take a sabbatical. My husband said, take a break. And so I wanted to help, just be there for my kids as the twins as they were going into high school. And people started to find out that I was not working anywhere. So I started getting job offers and recruiters calling me, but I got a lot of calls from franchisees that I met in my career in the brands that I worked for. And the questions they were asking me were not about how to make the best pizza or the greatest chicken or the best pretzel, but they were asking me about the management side. Like, how do you manage a multi-unit organization? Like, how do you inspire people? How do you read a profit and loss statement? How do you manage a multi-unit organization? So it was really the managerial side of that. And then I realized that there was a lot of need in that because franchisors do a great job about giving the training, the resources, and the materials to be able to duplicate the brand. But when it comes to the management side, the business acumen, they can't for 2 reasons. Number one is because of joint employer. Obviously, that's the big problem in the industry right now. And there's only so much that they can provide the franchisees, let alone the employees. And the second one is still money and resources. I mean, a lot of franchisors are tight in money and resources, especially the emerging ones, right? And so they don't have the bandwidth nor the resources. And of course, joint employer prevents them from being able to get into how to become a business manager of a franchise. And little by little, I became the accidental consultant. Didn't even know how to be a consultant, to be the truth. I always been, in the corporate side, running regions and running the business. And so I became the accidental consultant, and one thing led to the other. And then I created a program, and then the program become a school, and then a class, and now we have instructors and tests and homeworks, and like we're literally the college, a college for franchising focused on franchisee success. So we are here every day executing training programs for franchisees to help them go multi-unit so that they go from a one-unit job to a multi-unit enterprise, and then helping train their leaders so that they can manage the business and do the best job possible so that they can be profitable and successful. And so that's what we do every day now.
Lee Iacocca, when he took over the Chrysler Corporation and turned it around from bankruptcy into something great, was asked what was his secret, and he says, "My people. You cannot build a great company without great people." I would assume that for multi-unit growth, if someone wants to grow several units, and you have actually with Aziz Hashim that did the Ford work on, I know that he's very successful multi-unit franchisee, and he grows and promotes from within. So every time the people are ready, or one of his team members is ready to grow, that makes it easier for him to acquire additional locations and additional units.
The top three challenges for growing a multi-unit organization starts with, number one is access to capital, right? But you can access capital. It's expensive, but you can access it. It's possible, especially if you have already one proven unit. Access to capital is not a problem. Number two is finding the right location. You need to have the ability, the skills, and reach out to the tools that exist nowadays that are amazing to find the right location. But the third one is having the leaders to run the units. Otherwise, you're stuck running them. And so definitely developing the leaders and the leadership bench for you to prepare for growth is going to be critical for multi-unit. And I will tell you that is, it's a big one. And one of the reasons I always tell our clients that as you get bigger, things get much easier. And if you are multi-unit, you are able to be inspiring a lot more than if you were a single unit, because if you're a single unit franchisee, there's nothing you can promise the team members or the assistant managers in that location because they're not going anywhere. There's no further opportunity. But if you're a multi-unit enterprise and you are growing, oh my gosh, then you can develop people so that whenever you're ready, they're ready to go. And so people will join you not just to get the paycheck, but also because now you can offer a career. Why did I go from a college graduate, failed business owner into a pizza delivery job? And why did I stay there? Well, because of the promise of the growth.
I hope you have gained some valuable insights into the world of franchising. Please make sure to like and subscribe and share with your network. Also, click the link below to learn more about franchising with Action Coach.